I think having a robust, well worked out process for leading people through from old to new ways of working, that's change management. The reason for having that is because it delivers two things. First, on a revenue side, it delivers earlier return on investment. Why? Because if you've invested in creating a new solution, you want people to be using it. That's when you get the payback. That's when you get the improvements. That's when you start to see the efficiencies. So if you're going to manage that transition from the old ways to the new ways of working, it stands to reason that you're going to get that earlier. You're going to see that actually happening in front of you with more and more staff earlier than if you just left them to get on with it on their own. So I think there's something fundamental about that early return on investment. But I also think with the huge volume of change going on at the moment, it's a competitive advantage. Because if your organisation knows how to lead people through to new ways of working, there are multiple solutions coming at them, then you've got a capacity that kind of matches your ambition. And that makes you a very profitable organisation in terms of in front of customers, we've got new stuff coming out the whole time. I think the value of change management is in two parts. One is what it helps us to do and the value we get from that, and the other is how it helps us to mitigate risk. In terms of value, if we can help people to adjust from current ways of working to adopt new ways of working, and all the advantages, the efficiencies, the increases in customer service, staff engagement and revenue that come from that, if we can achieve that earlier with less stress, then that increases our return on investment, increases the certainty that we get that return on investment, and it increases the speed at which we get that return on investment. Coupled with that is that we have a competitive advantage because our organisation knows how to get change out to the marketplace. We stay ahead of our competitors. We have an internal capacity for delivering all of our ambition. So I think there's a very positive reason why change management is so strategically valuable. But as a company director, I'll look at it from the other side and say that change management also reduces my risks. There's the risk that I'm not going to get the return on investment. I've paid money out, often through the project management route, to create a solution. I don't want that money to go to waste. But also, if I introduce something new and it causes chaos and staff don't really know what's expected of them, they're not really sure how to do things, that has a big impact. Customers are not being serviced appropriately. It causes that kind of reputational issue. And these days it might be with customers or in fact back into the supply chain that we look disorganised. So there's a huge reputational risk. But I think it also mitigates the risk that I'm causing stress for staff. I think there are mental health benefits from having a well worked out routine that lead people through the uncertainty of being asked to work differently. That also mitigates my sort of risk that I'm causing problems for them. So, strategically, change management has added value, but it also has risk mitigation benefits. If you already know about change management, the Agile Change Agent certification gives you an insight into the Agile world. It gives you a way of being able to chunk up the change that you're responsible for into an evolving solution, that emergent change that we always talk about in change management. Iteration after iteration, chunk after chunk, you're going to deliver an outcome that's valuable to the business. You're going to make a positive difference. You might not know the whole story. You might not know really what the end point is yet. But you know, if you use an agile change approach, you can really start making a difference, get stuff out to the business, start solving problems, start reducing problems, and make sure that the business are being supported, because there's so much change going on. They just want solutions. If you're working in project management, you might wonder why you want to take a certification that says Agile Change Agent, because you might not see yourself as an agent of change. In this course, one of the key things we look at is how does the tangible change that you create in the project, the new solution that you're creating, how does that fit into the business? Agile Change Agent is about bringing together the worlds of project management and change management, leading to the realisation of benefits, which we know, as far as project management is concerned, is a key driver. It's why we do the projects in the first place. What the Agile Change Agent certification gives you is the whole story, not just the project life cycle, but it's that tail end of what do people do with it. And by learning the Agile Change Agent certification, I think what you're picking up is a lot of how to ready the business for using what it is you're creating. And I think that changes the conversations you have with your users. It changes the questions you ask them, and it changes the contribution they're able to make. I think by seeing that wider picture and thinking about the impact on them and how they might get ready for using your solution, it really grows your ability as a project or program manager.